This White Sox versus Royals series is presented by Echo Outdoor Power Equipment. And we are coming to you from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, where this afternoon Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Todd Frazier, Brett Laurie, Jose Abreu in the Sox as they get set to butt heads with the defending world champion Kansas City Royals. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you the finale of this rain-abbreviated series. You know, we got rain down on Thursday, but if you missed Friday's game, you know, in that game, it was very unusual. We had a 5-1 lead at one point, and we lost that game 7-5. And yesterday, a very unusual game. As a matter of fact, it's the largest comeback in Kansas City history. We led that game 7-1 going to the bottom of the ninth. They scored 7 runs in the bottom of the ninth. We lose it 8-7. But one positive that came out of that ball game yesterday was the production, the offensive production at the back of the end of the lineup.
The tail end of the lineup really was hot yesterday, and if that continues, certainly the top end of the lineup is going to consistently produce. Brett Laurie starts things out. He's got a base hit, and Alex Avila, who had 2 hits, has another one. Avila drives this ball into right field, and the Sox score their first run. Tyler Saladino gets a rolling breaking ball, hits it out of the ballpark, and there's 4 on the board at the time until Avi comes up, makes it a 6-1 game, and things look beautiful. Sox ran their total of 7-1, and unfortunately that wasn't enough as Kansas City, without their stalwarts, kept pecking away and eventually won the ball game. A very disappointing game, but we're back at it today. That's the way baseball is. There's always a game tomorrow. Well,
they got the TWT of you, but also one of the things that Robin and all Sox fans would love to see is the bullpen get back to the April form.
The bullpen started so well this year, it was untouchable. Look in April. 4-0, the ERA 167, opponents hitting just 193. It was just a great month with 9 saves, and the strikeout to walk ratio was great, allowing very few home runs. Unfortunately, in May, it's turned around drastically. 1-6, an ERA of close to 4 3/4, a batting average at just a little above 2.5, and as you can see, the other numbers commensurate. And unfortunately this year, although the bullpen is 4th, it's going in the wrong direction. But I expect the guys who got him out in April to get him out again.
Well, if there's one guy we would like to have after the last 2 games out on the pump, we got him.
Chris Sale going to the mound, and Chris Sale last time out ran into a buzzsaw with Cleveland. However, he's the best in the business, and we're expecting more of the same here today. You salvage one of these games, push Kansas City back. Right now, the Sox sitting in 3rd. They couldn't have a better man going to the mound than their ace. As you can see against the Royals, Chris has had some problems. Although the ERA is good, the record is 7-9. Conversely, this year against our Sox, when you look at Volquez, you're looking at a good one. But over the course of his career, 2-2 with an ERA in the 1s. So Volquez has got a good slider. He's a good pitcher. Chris Sale will be a better pitcher, and look for the Sox to win this one today.
All right, the series finale. So sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Stadium in Kansas City. Recently, Chris Sale cheered up a local pitcher injured in a high school game. 16-year-old Tyler Coleman is a lefty ace on the sophomore baseball team at Andrew High School and bears a similar resemblance to his favorite White Sox lefty Chris Sale, as Tyler is 6'1" and 130 pounds. Earlier this month, Tyler was critically injured when he was struck in the face with a line drive during a game. With the help of the staff at Lurie's Children's Hospital, Tyler is recovering, and although the process has been challenging, it's also been difficult for the team. While Sale heard about Tyler's accident, he made a phone call to Tyler to offer some encouraging words, reminding him to stay strong. Sale also sent a get well basket to Tyler at the hospital and invited him to be his special guest at a game when he's feeling better. We'll be back with the lineups and baseball after these messages.
White Sox baseball on CSN Chicago is brought to you in part by Toyota. Discover more in a Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com or your local Toyota dealer today. Let's go places. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. Audi. Truth in engineering. And by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV.
Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium in beautiful Kansas City. Just a gorgeous day for baseball, and hopefully a different outcome than the last couple of days, which were very frustrating, as all of you Sox fans know. So Volquez takes the field, and let's take a look at how Robin's going to line up our Sox for the game this afternoon. Adam Eaton leading it off, and it's Austin Jackson, who's been red hot, along with Todd Frazier, Melky Cabrera, Jose Abreu, Brett Lawrie playing second. Deanna Navarro behind the plate, Avisail Garcia, who in his last 3 has been hitting the ball well, and Tyler Saladino gets a start at shortstop. The defense, and how Ned Yost is going to line him up behind Edinson Volquez, Brett Eibner in left field, Lorenzo Cain in center. Paulo Orlando is in right. Then it's Chesler Cuthbert, Alcides Escobar, Whit Merrifield, and Eric Hosmer in the infield, with Rube Butera getting the nod behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is the aforementioned Edinson Volquez. On for his 11th start, his record 5-4, his ERA respectable, 3.67. As you can see, a few more hits per innings pitched. As far as strikeouts and walks, it's a little over 2-1. He's a good pitcher, been around a long time, originally with Texas and later traded to Cincinnati in the Josh Hamilton deal. The umpires for the game this afternoon: the crew chief, Ted Barrett, behind the plate. Robin Blackney is at first, Angel Hernandez at second, and Will Little is at third. They're trying to salvage the final game of the series and the first win of the road trip. Adam Eaton is going to lead it off. They've thrown the ball around the infield, which means we're ready to play baseball, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Steve, thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. So happy you could join us for the finale of this 3-game set and the third of what's going to be a 9-game road trip. After the game, we go to New York for 3 and then finish it off for 3 in Detroit. Before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours, as here's the first pitch of the ball game as he looks at a pitch that's off the plate called a strike.
I would certainly hope that that is not the width of the plate today, because if it is, hitters are in for trouble.
As long as it's the same for both sides, as the count goes to 0-2. Sox come in hitting at 249 with the 3.51. And let's face it, in the last few games, it has not been the same for both sides.
The offense the last couple of games has been very good, however.
Oh, yeah. Well, the bullpen's got to do the job. It's a battle of bullpens. I've been saying that for years. I don't care how good your starters are. If your bullpen doesn't get the job done, you're going to lose. There's a good way to start it.
Get him 0-2 and then hung a breaking ball. Adam took advantage of it, dumping it into right field. And so we've seen one of the things the Sox have done in these 2 games, which if they continue to do it, will still hold them in good instead, besides the comebacks, and that is score early.
Well, let's face it, we are not an offensive team. We are a defensive team, with pitching being the first line of defense and bullpen being the first line of pitching. As here is Austin Jackson. Decks it up, takes a strike. Austin 5 for 9 in the series, hitting at 257, no homers. He's driven in 16. The reason we got off to that great start was because of catching the ball and pitching. Bullpen was the best in the big leagues for April. In fact, we're leading the American League in defense and second in all of baseball. The only team better with a fielding percentage than ours are the Nasty Nats in Washington. Eaton 5 for 6 in stolen bases. That's up high.
And where Salvi Perez can shut down a running game, Drew Butera is good. He's not quite as good as Salvi. And Salvi, after that collision, Ned Yost was asked about the condition. He said, look, no structural damage to the knee. Breathing a sigh of relief. It is, however, going to be 7 to 10 days, and who knows just exactly how long it takes.
There he goes. Drew Butera is pretty good.
Got a good jump, and that was a bullet of a throw. Very good pitch to throw for Butera.
Good quick footwork by Drew.
See Adam get a running start, and that ball's up and in. It chases Austin Jackson out of the batter's box, and when you do that, it leaves the catcher with an unobscured throw, and he puts it right on the money.
That's into the seats and a 2-2 count. Well, I went in to see Salvador Perez before the game, and he had a couple of walking sticks and he was hobbling in, but he said he was fine. And everybody can certainly breathe a little easier, because if they had lost him along with Gordon and Moustakas, you could wrap it up for the Royals.
A pretty tough mountain to climb, and factor in the finger injury for Morales. He's back in the lineup today, but hitting just 187.
And if you missed that collision, it was a good one.
Adam Eaton pops it up, and it's a 7-1 game at the time, and you see Perez calling for it, and then takes a shot to the thigh. I mean, that was a terrific football block, and Perez is really hurt.
Out and around that one. Well, he had a big smile on his face, and that was good to see. Payoff. Yes, sir. That was a knee buckler. Let's take another look. Take another look at this collision, though, and watch his left leg and watch his left foot. And Mike Leary's going to freeze it for you. That left foot was just off the ground. If that had been planted right there, he's looking at a broken leg or a busted knee. So here's Frazier. First pitch strike. Just turning around looking at Barrett and saying, hey, is this getaway day zone or what? And that used to be the case years past, when they didn't have all the television cameras and all the pitch tracks and everything. They would tell you on getaway day, hey fellas, swing the bats. And you knew exactly what they meant. Bigger plate. Excuse me. Up the middle. And that'll do it after half inning of play. It's our guys nothing and their guys coming to bat.
Offense against Chris Sale. It's Escobar, Merrifield, and Kane at the top, with Hosmer, Morales back in the lineup, and Orlando in the middle. Then it's Eibner, Cuthbert, and Butera at the tail end, and Hosmer's been red hot this series. The defense, and now Robin's going to line them up behind Chris. It's Cabrera, Jackson, and Eaton in a familiar outfield with Frazier, Saladino, Lowry, and Abreu in the infield. Deanna Navarro with the nod behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Chris Sale. Sale, having his 9-game win streak interrupted last time out, his ERA a sparkling .226. He's under .500 lifetime against this Kansas City ball club, but he's thrown the ball certainly respectable enough, and he goes out there today as the guy they look to be the stopper. And the stopper means there's a 5-game losing streak on the line, and Chris would love to put it to bed.
So here is Escobar. Takes it up, takes it high. Escobar hitting at .269. Royals hitting at .265 as a club with a 3.86 team ERA. One and one to count here at the ballpark. 330 down the lines, 387 in the gaps, at 410 straight away center.
Escobar's always done well against Chris Sale by going the opposite field.
Well, they got him. Whoa, from here, real time, like he may have beaten it, but Ed Yost now coming to the top of the dugout.
Pretty good play, great range by Saladino, and he has to make the off-balance throw going away from it. He gets it to first. It's awfully close at first, but play will continue.
Well, it's hard to get as much as he got on that, moving that hard to your left.
He's got a strong arm.
Oh, he has. He's a good player.
Strong arm and big range.
He is a good player. So here's Whit Merrifield. He's been impressive. 4 for 9 in the series with 4 RBIs and 12 for 32 on the season. Good approach.
He's got his runs batted in at the appropriate times. His first 2 came in the 7th inning, a 4-run 7th, where Kansas City came back and took the lead against the Sox in the opener, and then 2 more in the big 7-run 9th inning yesterday.
Well, this ball club, Kansas City, they are the leaders in TWTW in the American League. And that is the will to win. They have been for the last 3 or 4 years. They do not quit. It's easy to say, but it's tough to do when you're in uniform and down in that dugout. You're down 7-1. Bottom of the 9th inning. Watch out. Very few clubs will really believe that they can still come back. This is one that will.
If you're taking a look at how they were raised pretty much together. Kansas City has taken a lot of #1 draft picks because they were so bad for so long. Between World Series champions was 1985 to 2015. They had a lot of #1 picks. They made the most of them. They brought them up together, and they learned how to win together. That really holds them in good stead. They talk about a very tight locker room. That's one of the things they have with Kansas City because so many guys have been around for so long. Kane came over from Milwaukee but fit right in. Perez they raised, Hosmer they raised, Moustakas they raised, as well as Gordon.
So 3-2, and he gets a fastball and hits it.
Merrifield was not a high draft pick. He was out of South Carolina, a good baseball program, and he seems to know how to handle the bat. Certainly he can play every different position and play them very well. Comes from a baseball background, and it shows.
And here's a man who has hit Sale hard. Lorenzo Cain, 15 for 43 with 3 homers and 7 knocked in. That's a strike on Todd Frazier. Outfield. Round slightly to the right, big gap in left center. And that change up fouled away right side.
Told you Chris over the course of his career 7-9 against Kansas City. However, his career ERA 2.84 against them, so he's thrown it very well, just hasn't had near as much luck against the Royals as he had against some other teams. And there you look at 15 starts in 26 games.
And that's fouled. Abreu giving chase. Hits the corner. Hope he's okay. He looked like he hit the corner of that thing.
Says he's okay. That's a nice way to get a hip pointer, as he wasn't able to get there quickly enough to locate where the stands came out, and it got him the point of the seats, jarred the ball out of what would have been a very good catch.
Well, that really disturbs me when I see that, because the big hurt Frank Thomas did that. Hurt his elbow and he still played, but he wasn't the same there for quite a while. One out, 1-2 the count. Went into the clubhouse after the game was over last night, and I started thinking on the bus ride back to the hotel. I don't know if I've ever heard a quieter clubhouse ever than ours was last night after that game. That ball hit hard. He got a good jump, but he can't get there. They're going to wave him around, and the throw off the mark, and it's 1-0 Royals. Kane has really nailed Sale.
RBI number 27. That was a fastball down. It was out over the plate, maybe on the outer third, but no chance at all for Jackson. He played it as well as he could play it, getting the hop. A nice piece of base running by Merrifield, because he was standing one step away from second base, not believing Jackson was going to make the play. Then he turned it on and scored easily.
Well, he backlegged it, and that's his wheelhouse. Down and out over the plate. And Hosmer's going to make it 2-0. So for Hosmer, that's his 7th RBI in this series.
It's also his 30th driven in. And although big pressure has fallen to Eric Hosmer, he's responded big time. Gordon out. Moustakas out. Perez out. Morales with a bad finger. And Hosmer just continues to get the job done. So
well, he's getting the opportunity to get the job done.
And it's Kane and Hosmer in the middle that are a right and left-handed powerhouse.
Well, Hosmer is the most dangerous guy in that lineup, with Gordon and Moustakas on the shelf. And he's 6 for 10 against us in this series, with 7 RBIs. You give him the chance, and he probably will beat you, and that's what he's done. So here's Morales. He's a good hitter. Dangerous. A better way to frame it. Last year he had 290, 22 homers, but he drove in 106.
A lot more dangerous from the side he's looking out at Chris Sale, and that is the right side. 326 is a right-hand hitter. 138 is a lefty. See the numbers lifetime against Chris.
And that ball hit hard in the center field. He makes the catch. They got a chance with a good throw to double him up. Yes! Beautiful peg by Saladino. But they come up with a pair, and after one, it's 2-0 Royals.
before. Switch to T-Mobile for Major League coverage today.
Top of the second inning. Royals lead at 2-0. Two quick runs. And boy, there were 4 rockets hit off Chris Sale in that inning.
Morales crushed that last ball, and we'll show that play to you after the first out. What an effort on all concerned.
Austin Jackson, another outstanding play. Here's Melky. Melky 1 for 8 in the series, and that was a grand slam homer. To count. Chopper 2 hopper.
Time now for our Xfinity high-speed action replay, and it's a blast off the bat of Kendrys Morales. Right over his head, and Jackson goes back. Gets the ball back in. Tyler Saladino flying across, fires it to first, and Jose keeps his foot on the bag. Just a great job all the way around. Turns into a double play and out of the inning, but some damage done. And this was one of the better ones.
Well, it saved a run, and they could still be hitting. Hosmer didn't think there was any chance that Jackson was going to get that one. He was way around second base. Play. Abreu 0 for 8 in the series. Came in with high hopes after the last 2 home games where he had 3 hits in each one of them.
Given some pitches to hit, that last pitch was very hittable, but he fouled it off to the right.
Well, he's had some good pitches to hit in this first 2 games, but he's fouled them off to the right. That's off the end of the bat. It's going to fall for the base hit, so he'll take it. And right now, with 1-0-1 out, let's check out our picks to click. Demangio, director, and Mike Leary and Dave Ross, they went with Diano. Steve's going with Adam Eaton and J.J. Shearer and all the great folks at Ditka's tonight. We're going to go with Austin Jackson, who just made a terrific play, saving at least one. So here is Brett Lawrie. Brett 3 for 8 in the series, 1 for 6 lifetime against Volquez. Volquez of Santo Domingo. 32 years old, 6 feet tall, 220 pounds.
Butera goes out to talk to him about overthrowing, because if you try to get too much on the ball, you're going to carry yourself off to the first base side, lose that pinpoint control you need. Tear out there before it becomes a real difficulty for him.
Crowd on hand. They're averaging 32,500. Why not? Defending world champions, 1 out away from making it 2 in a row. Madison Bumgarner. Wow. What an exhibition he put on in that series. Big gap in left center.
Pretty good straight change, and that's really what's made Volquez a whole lot better pitcher than he was at times early in his career. His best year by far was Cincinnati in 08, 17-6. Last year 13-9, and the year before with Pittsburgh 13-7. Last year, his first year with the Royals.
And that's back through the middle. Abreu, he's going to make the turn and easily go into third. So with one out, runners at the corners.
The only way Jose could have made this turn as easily as he did was he realized where Kane had set up. They also realized that he was very deep in center field. No chance for him to get a ball that wasn't hit like a rocket. Was it hard enough to get through, just not hard enough to get to Kane quickly. So a chance to cut this lead.
Here's DeHonor. 1 for 3 in the series, hitting at .225. A couple of homers. He's driven in 12. Takes a breaking ball down low. And he's got the catbird seat. 2-0. Hunter's only faced Volquez one time and he has one hit. Big rip by Navarro. And a nice catch. First roll of the upper deck. Just a gentle breeze blowing from right to left. That evens the count at 2.
Good fastball, 95, low and away. DeHonor did a nice job of staying alive. Pinpoint spot. See where Buter wants it. Good late movement on that one, and Barrow able to continue the at bat.
Well, this guy's a good pitcher, and mainly because everything he throws is moving. Obviously, the curveball's going to be moving. Changeup's got a good sink to it. Fastball's got a good tail, and that's a fair ball. So Abreu's going to score on the single with Laurie into third base, and it's a 2-1 ball game. Getting tired of Jim Angio, Mike Leary, and Dave Ross taking my pick.
th run driven in, and that one is up. So he wants to get it inside. He just doesn't get it inside far enough. 3 straight singles have cut the lead in half as Hosmer came off the line with the pitch, and it turned out that ball went behind him.
Well, you got good speed out there in right field. And Paolo Orlando, he got to that ball almost faster than DeHonor got to first base. As that way inside. Bobby hit one out of here yesterday that was just a bomb. It measured at 428, and it was just a line drive, 428-foot line drive. Gap out there in left center. And there he goes. There you go. Bobby, good job, buddy. Lance Johnson jump right there.
Here is that home run yesterday, and that was one of the pitches Ventura hung. He didn't hang it long because it got out of here in a hurry. That made it 6-1 at the time.
That's the first stolen base for DeHonor since September 10th, 2014.
Yeah, most likely. I'm surprised he didn't ask for the base because that's not part of his game. But he realized when looking at Volquez, he completely ignored him at first base. So heads up base run.
Only one dog. Lance Johnson used to get jumps like that. He was halfway to first before the pitcher threw the second before the pitcher threw the ball. Blocked nicely by Butera.
We'll take a look. He starts taking off, and that's reminiscent of Todd Frazier on this ball club. He'll try to do that, and wow, he was about halfway before Volquez ever delivered the ball.
How do you make it hurt? Here's the 2-2 pitch.
With first base open, he certainly could have run here as Butera has some problems. But by not forcing him to make a throw, nothing really comes of it.
So here's Saladino. 2 for 4 last night. Takes that pitch inside. And last night we were leading 1-0 in the second inning with 2 on, and here's Tyler getting the play.
Rolling breaking ball, and he rolled it on out of here. I think he's 11 driven in for the year, his second home run.
Butera once again wants to have a little chit chat with him.
You can follow Dan Hayes, our White Sox insider, all season long on CSNChicago.com, presented by The Great Escape. It's pools, patio furniture, hot tubs, and more. Escape your everyday. Shop The Great Escape. Merry month of May, Tyler Saladino has been heating it up. Hasn't had that much of an opportunity. When he has, he's hitting a robust .342.
Two on, 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good job, just foul it off.
He got a slider, reached out, didn't mean to swing, but in the meantime, the at-bat stays alive, and the pitches continue to climb. Pitch number 40 on the way. We're not through the second inning.
Full count, so he should have something decent. Adam Eaton on deck, and Adam, of course, lined a single in the right field, leading off the ball game. Then he was caught stealing.
Once again, lack of communication on the part of Volquez and Butera. One of the things they're talking about the fact that you've got a catcher on second base. When you have that and he's looked in for a while, he can pick up a sequence of signs. can also give locations, so sometimes they just do that and they don't hang a sign and say, just come to me with it. That's what happened.
That's it softly into center field, and they got a man there. But we do pick up one, and we'll go to the bottom of the second, trailing by one.
In the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
And the coaches at third, Mike Ursley. And over first, well, you know how the Miss America pageant has Miss Congeniality contest. If baseball had a Mr. Congeniality contest, that guy right there would probably win it going away. Rusty Kuntz. Never see him without a smile on his face. Got a great personality. And is loved by everybody. That's the story here, bottom of the second. 2-1 bad guys. Palo Orlando on an 11-game hitting streak. Career high for him. Got a hit in each of the first 2 games of this series. And lifetime against Chris, he's 2 for 6 with a home run.
He's been using right field awfully well in the course of this particular series.
The fastball at 94. He gone. And Sox fans, we want to hear from you throughout the game. Use the hashtag White Sox Talk on Twitter. And be sure to follow at CSN White Sox all season long for the latest news on your favorite team. So here's been a hero last night. Game-winning base hit. Night before, a very big sacrifice bunt. Red Eibner.
It'll be a joy to him to do it in front of his folks. They've been at the series because his major league debut was the opener of this series. And there you see 3 for 8, 375 with a run batted in. Run batted in. Turned out to be the winner right off of Abreu's glove in a 10-pitch battle with Tommy Kahnle. talking with the Ford Frick Award-winning broadcaster, Denny Matthews, who's been here from the beginning of these Royals back in '69. He said he thought today would be an interesting game psychologically for both teams. Only in that the Royals have come back in 2 straight games, yet they keep dropping like flies as far as injuries. And he says as far as the Sox are concerned, coming back from 2 games where they had big leads only to lose them, see how they come back today. I don't think there's any carryover for either team on what happened the last couple of days, unless you want to view it as positive carryover for the Royals, knowing they can come back at any score.
And that's foul.
Abner was a power hitter in the minor leagues. You saw the numbers at Omaha. He's had a couple of good years, and yet you take a look at what he's done in the series. He had an important sacrifice bunt in the 8th inning of the opener that pushed, turned out to be, a big insurance run into scoring position.
Full count to the 27-year-old out of Jupiter, Florida.
Another youngster getting some play because Mike Moustakas is out for the year. Cuthbert get a whole lot of play.
And that ball's hit into left center field. He's going to give it a go. And here's the throw. He gone. Beautiful peg once again by Melky Cabrera.
Melky gets to the ball quickly. He's always had an accurate arm, and Eibner just seeing him for the first time decides he's going to try unsuccessfully.
Well, I tell you one thing about that 6'4", that big man, he can move it. Now they're going to review it.
Let's take a look and see where the tag was and see where the left hand was.
Eibner last year, as you look at the replay, was 10 for 10 in stolen bases at Omaha.
So the throw is there. The question is the tag on the arm before the left arm gets to the bag? Tag is on the right arm, but
that angle is a little more.
Well, the question will also be, tag was on the arm, and whether you say that he was safe or not, as he went across the bag, the tag was still on him. Did he pop off the bag as his left arm and right arm both flew off of the vicinity of the bag? Now right there, no part of him is on the bag, and the tag was still on him.
Times with those diving head first slides,
you come off the bag.
You're going to come off the bag at some point.
And he did right there. And so whether you say the right arm was in or not, the glove was definitely on him when the right arm popped off the bag.
Well, if you don't, you're going to break a wrist or break a hand. So 2 down. But either way, it had been called safe. It's still a beautiful, great throw by Melky. So here's Cuthbert. Chesler, just 23 years old. that's fouled back. So count 0-2. He resides in Corn Island, Nicaragua. Two 4-0 for the Royals, 1-4-0 for our guys. If you're just joining us,
Corn Island, a Nicaraguan territory, 45 miles east of the coast, and he got $1 million to sign. They thought that he had a lot of potential. It's translated into performance. Here he is in the major leagues at a fairly young age, getting a lot of play.
that is 2 strikeouts now for Chris Sale, and we're into the 3rd. Relax and strap it down and enjoy an all-new episode of Beer Money. Tune in to see who wins big money when their sports knowledge is tested. Beer Money presented by Coors Light tonight at 7 on CSN.
Nice to see when the team came in from that inning. They certainly applauded Melky, told him a nice job, and they also applauded Brett Lawrie for keeping the tag on him when he popped off the bag. And so regardless of what has happened in the 2 games previously, this team still encouraging one another, is still very happy with the way a good play unfolds, and there was a sign of it.
Well, that clubhouse, as I mentioned last night, I have never seen one more quiet than that one. That'll tell you something right there. There's nothing on this. That's the last couple of games, and really losing 5 straight, 11 of the last 14 is not going to deter this team from going out there and having a good attitude.
Look, this is as bad a stretch as you could possibly have, and as tough a losses as you could possibly have. Yet you look up, team's a half game back, still a long way to go, not even a third of the way through the season, and nothing that has happened is going to affect what's going to happen.
Well, they got off to a 23-10 start. That's what it is. You put 13 of them in the bank, and right now to this point,
they've used 9 of them.
We've used 9 of them.
They've withdrawn 9 of them.
So, I mean, that's what it's for. Back through the middle into center field.
That's what it looks like coming in. So Cleveland with a half-game lead over Kansas City and our Sox. Cleveland just tied up The Baltimore Orioles, they were trailing 4-3. It's a 4-4 game. That game in the bottom of the 6th in Cleveland. And of course, this game, Kansas City leading by a run, but a promising start to the 3rd inning with Eaton's 2 straight singles.
So here's Austin Jackson. Called out on a good curveball. There's a curveball. That one's a pretty good pitch to hit. Couldn't pull the trigger. And the count 0-1.
Big gap in left center, playing Austin around a couple of steps to right center. Pretty good speed in the outfield. Great speed in center and right.
That's a real good turn right there at second base by Merrifield.
You got 2 guys in this infield that don't normally play but for injuries. Cuthbert started it, has to give some ground. He's got a strong arm, sidearm flip, and then Merrifield, who can play any position, comes across, gets away from the slide by moving toward the infield, and there's a lot of ways to do that at second, and they turn an unlikely double play.
So now 2 gone, and here's Ty. Frazier.
Eibner playing him very deep and over toward the line in left field.
And count 2-0. I've got it out to Merrifield his first trip.
Now you zone hit. Probably looking for a fastball, and you'd like it for his case middle in. And he got a straight change, and so you know why he was well out in front of him. The ability to throw anything but a fastball in a fastball situation will make you into a pretty good pitcher.
And the count's 3-1.
Todd Frazier looking down over the inside corner because there's been 2 pitches almost in the exact same spot. One he called a ball, and that one Ted Barrett called a strike.
It is still 2-1 Royals.
Ball brought to you by T-Mobile, and as you can see, Wilbur Wood more than 10 wins before June. Red Faber 10 wins before June, and Chris Sale with one more win today will join that illustrious duo. I was here in '73 with Wilbur, and they ran him out there every chance they got. Lucky bowlers don't get all that tired, and Wilbur, well, I think to him it felt like he threw 1,000 innings. 44 decisions. You're not likely to see that anytime soon.
Here's Butera. It is still 2-1 Kansas City. He did not go. Butera was a big double on that ball game yesterday. And it was nice to see old friend Mike Busick. Mike, formerly with the White Sox, Milwaukee. Now has been here for 7 years. And acknowledged around baseball to be one of, if not the best at what he does, and that's Vice President of Marketing and Business Development.
Well, they figured out the absolute greatest way to pack your ballpark. Put together a real good baseball team.
Well, this is not unlike other teams, Steve. I mean, a lot of teams, when they win a world championship or they have a very good team, they pack the park.
Yeah, they do.
And when they don't, they don't. He gone.
They didn't for a long time.
Third strikeout now for Chris. Yeah, I mentioned in the first game they already have over 2 million tickets sold for this season, coming off that world championship in the previous year. Coming within 1 out, so to speak, of possibly winning another one. On the count. Escobar chopped one up the middle, and Saladino made a beautiful play to get him, ranging far to his left. Then gunned it over to get Alcides. Popped up, had him, long way to go, can't get there.
Made a good effort, then the slide to stop his momentum, and lost a couple of gloves on the way.
Off the end of the bat, and he'll take it himself. 2 down.
Cover all the bases for just $79 by purchasing an Abreu 4-pack. Each pack includes 4 upper box game tickets, 4 hot dog value meals, and a parking pass. Abreu 4-packs are available now for all Thursday home games. Visit whitesox.com/Abreu to order yours today.
So here's Merrifield. He started off that 2-run first with a bullet into left field. There's a bullet into right field. It's caught. Beautiful diving catch by Adam Eaton, and that'll retire us a hang whoop 'em for Whit. of the fourth inning. In a 2-1 Royal lead. They scored 2 in the first. We had 1 in the second. So for us, it'll be Cabrera, Abreu, and Laurie. Melky hit a chopper 2 hopper to second base. His first time. Takes strike 1. Putting up on the scoreboard out there that Volquez is throwing a knuckle curve.
Couple different ways to throw it, but a lot of guys tuck that index finger and then almost push it out as they throw it.
And a couple guys also use that first finger as a fingernail into the cover. You can get a lot of spin on it.
Can that, but you really have to get used to it because it's hard to master.
That's why not too many guys throw it.
Yes.
Another one to Merrifield. There have been some guys that had a lot of success with that.
Well, take a look at the back of Volquez. You can see that index finger, how it's kind of crooked, and that's how he will throw his knuckle curveball. And that last one was a good one, resulting in a ground out, 4-3.
Roy, the Athletics, Kansas City Athletics had a pitcher, former teammate of mine, Luke Krause, threw a knuckle curve. There's a bullet. Cuthbert, boy, he made that play look easy. Wow.
Well, that was a tough play because not only was it a rocket, but it hit the dirt, picked up overspin. As you can see, it comes right up. If you keep the glove down, you can always come up with the hop. You carry that glove high and the ball flattens out, you have no chance. Cuthbert has shown that he can handle third base and make all the plays there.
Well, they told me that they're not going to miss anything defensively with him over there. As here is Laurie. The thing about some of those knuckleballers, like knuckle curveballers like Lou Krause, when he came out of the glove and he got up here, you could see the index finger was up there, and you knew it was going to be a curveball. I still couldn't hit it.
If it's good enough, it really doesn't matter.
No. If you get any curveball, but especially one that's really going to bite, if you get it where you want it, the hitter's not going to do anything with it.
Years ago, there was a pitcher who came with the Cubs, later went to the Dodgers, won 12 games in a row. Rootin' Tootin' Bert Hooten out of the University of Texas,
knuckle curve,
who threw his knuckle curve with both hands and pushed it out, and that really broke. You don't find many like that. That was as unusual a grip for a pitch.
He's the only guy I ever heard use that.
Yeah, it was remarkable.
Here's the 3-0.
Heads up.
It back right and next to us.
That one came back with a little hair on it. Fortunately to your left, and hopefully the camera folk are okay. That was a rocket back that way.
I like the idea. 2 out, nobody on. Turn him loose, and he did. He had a good pass at it just underneath it. And the payoff pitch. Nice pick. Couple of nice plays. Kansas City can throw some leather at you, and they still lead it 2-1. Field Day with Jose Quintana and our Sox as they visit the New York Metropolitans from Citi Field. Coverage begins at 11:30 a.m. with the White Sox pregame live presented by the Koalas family of dealerships on CSN Chicago.
We'd like to welcome all of our viewers watching on Mediacom in Cedar Rapids and the Quad Cities. I get some of your money there?
Yes, they do, as a matter of fact.
In the Quad Cities or Cedar Rapids? Which one?
Both. And they've got a lot of my money in Des Moines. In fact, it's spread out all over Iowa.
You didn't have any luck in Iowa?
No. Those guys are sandbaggers. Too many sandbaggers in Iowa. So here's Kane. He had an RBI double and a run scored back in the first. I mean, he just absolutely tattooed it right over the head of Austin Jackson, who got a good jump on it. That's how hard it was hit. But as I mentioned, he has hit Chris very hard. He's now 16 for 44, 3 homers and 8 RBIs. When you're facing one of the best in the world and you put those numbers up, that's not bad. Full count.
Tried to throw a backdoor slider, and that one slipped off his hands.
Check that, 2-2. That's full count. Now on this scoreboard here is challenging Rick Fuse. He gone.
Big series for Eric Hosmer. He was the last man standing as the difference maker from the left side. So he's had enough singles. This one, the game winner in the opener. Driving in a couple of runs, and Hosmer's just been doing it. He's been hitting it to left. He's been hitting it to right. And he's been a general pain to deal with.
Well, he's the man who really is, without question, he had 18 homers, 93 knocked in, but he's one of those guys that's not what he hits, is when he hits it. And there's another base hit. So he's now 12 for 35 against Chris Sale. That's why you just can't let him beat you in big situations in the ball game.
That looked like a little breaky that stayed over the inside part of the plate. He sliced it away from Jackson, just to the left of center.
Well, both those base hits, he has short arms. He's got his phenomenal plate coverage. He can hit the ball on the outside 6 inches off the plate. He can hit the inside fastball just slightly off the plate with using those little short arms. It's just good. It's just that simple.
Hosmer, the 3rd pick overall in the first round in 2008 for these Royals. They didn't miss on too many first picks.
No, they're good. Their scouting department has really been, over the years, been really good.
They did have one, and that was they fell in love with a football-playing baseball player, Bubba Starling.
Yeah.
And that has not worked out particularly well for them. That's one of the few. I remember back, Bubba Starling, 2011 draft, he was the 5th player chosen in the first round. 6'4", 215, football player, gave him a whole lot of money, and not much happening.
Well, Well, we were just talking about it in the break. Is there's ball 4, so 1 out, 2 on. I know for me, if I were running a scouting department, I'm not looking for those big, strong, young power hitters. I'm looking for guys who can make some contact, who can catch the baseball, and usually if they can catch it, they have some pretty good speed.
Yeah, that typifies that as a guy that lasted the 25th pick in the first round. That was Mike Trout. Mike Trout was not huge when he was drafted, but he could fly, he could catch the ball, and he could certainly hit it.
And he just grew up.
And he did grow up.
Dick Allen.
He's going into a monster.
Richie Allen. We played against each other in the minor leagues coming up, and he was just skinny, and his best ball was like 400 feet.
Yeah.
And then we both go to spring training in 1963, and he's with the Phillies. I'm with Kansas City. We go over to play him, and there's this guy in the cage hitting him up in the lights and over the light towers in Clearwater. And I'm saying, who the devil is that? And I walk up to the cage. It's Richie. He came around the bases and stopped. We hugged each other and started talking. I said, Richie, you been lifting weights? He said, no, I just grew up. From there on out, it was closer to 500 feet.
Well, he used a 40-ounce bat, and when you slowed down his swing, and I always felt that he would have made the Hall of Fame had he taken it a little more seriously during the course of his career. Slow down his swing, and you'll see the top of the bat was pointing at the pitcher before he came back around and started his swing. It was remarkable how strong his hands and wrists were.
Paolo's gone.
2 strikeouts in a row for Orlando. And that a big one with runners at first and second and only 1 out. So now Eibner stands in the way of getting out of this inning, and he has started to hit everything in sight.
Well, he's getting to the count. Either 3-1, 3-2. He's had some good at bats, and for a big young rookie, that's a little unusual. At the bottom. Getting back to those drafting things. The one thing you don't want to do is first round pick, or for me even the second round pick, is go for these stud high school pitchers. Just do the math on those.
No, they get hurt an awful lot when they move to a professional schedule.
There's a strike.
Eibner, another member of this Kansas City system, drafted in the 2nd round in 2010.
The count in Chris's favorite 1 and 2. Well, another way to evaluate those guys is what they can't do. You don't look at anybody who can't run. I don't care how many home runs at a young age they're hitting. And you don't look at anybody who's bad defensively, who's got bad hands. Now, some guys can develop into real good defensive players. He can't find it. He can't find it. Yeah, he does. Now he does. Okay, that'll retire the side. A little scare right there for a second. Had a lot of problems yesterday with that sign. Here's Navarro, the honor RBI single in the second inning. Just a bullet down the first baseline.
With that base hit and the first White Sox run, eClick Lending has donated $100 to the Pat Tillman Foundation, supporting military veterans and their families. Those teams have played Navarro as a dead pull hitter, and although Kansas City is not one of them, they do have Merrifield way back on the grass at second.
Two.
White Sox fans, join us on Friday, June 24th for Mullet Night, presented by Great Clips. Mullet Night features haircuts and mullet wigs for purchase to support the Ronald McDonald House Charities, and a post-game fireworks show. Great Clips. It's gonna be great. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/group.
He made a couple real good pitches on Navarro right there. And that's what we were talking about earlier. If a guy, I don't care if you know it's coming. If he throws this curveball where he wants to, you're not going to do anything with it.
You keep it down and in, out of the zone. You have to lay off, but it looks so inviting that you swing at it, and by the time you do, it disappears.
Well, getting back to Lou Krause, that pitcher who pitched for several teams in the major leagues. In fact, his major league debut was at 17 years old, and he pitched against the Angels at Old Wrigley Field out in L.A. And he threw a 3-hit shutout, struck out 10 at 17 years old with that knuckle curveball.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, at 17, that's pretty good. But the thing is, I knew everything he was throwing. I still couldn't hit it. I don't ever remember getting a base hit off him. Because he threw it, he made his pitches. That's pretty impressive major league debut for anybody.
That sounds terribly young at 17 until you think about Joe Nuxhall, who made his major league debut at 15.
Isn't that something?
15.
Yeah. That's hard. That's hard to fathom. I faced him.
I didn't know the way back to my house at 15, let alone a major league debut. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's the youngest in history, right?
Yeah, it is.
Marcelino Lopez, a big, strong left-hander for the Phillies, made his at 16. Let me reframe it. Okay, he made his professional debut at 16, not his major league. Because there's ball 4. And that's the first walk issued by Volquez.
He's up to 75 pitches, and we've got an out in the 5th inning. Yesterday, got to give a little credit to Ned Yost, because somehow he nursed Ventura through 7 innings, leaving just 6 outs to go. Shin-Ming Wong picked those up and eventually got the win. But Ventura didn't have it. He gave up 7 runs on 9 hits. Yost did not want to go to the bullpen. He realized that they've got a whole lot of days coming up with baseball, and he didn't want to decimate his bullpen.
You know, you're talking about the power. We were talking about youngsters and power. Look at what Kansas City has done here, because even with Gordon and Moustakas in there, there's only one legitimate big power guy, and that's Morales, and Hosmer being a close second, so to speak. They've done it with guys who catch the ball, they can run, and they make contact. Plus, for the last 4 years, they probably had the best bullpen, certainly in the American League.
They redefined how to make a game a 6-inning game. They didn't start it. I mean, that can go all the way back well before the Nasty Boys in 1990 under Lou Piniella with Cincinnati. They made it a 6-inning game. And you've got a lot of other guys use the bullpen, but lately Kansas City's been state of the art in that department.
Well, the first guy to make it a 7-inning game, okay, the first guy was Tony La Russa. And that was back in the early 80s. He made it a 7-inning game, and then later on he brought in a 7th-inning guy. So he was the first to make it, in essence, a 6-inning ball game. There you go. Just muscles that, boy, Tyler. So the big turn by Avi on the double by Saladino. Yes.
You know, it's not an easy task to do what Tyler Saladino does. Now he's had a chance to start 2 games in a row, but he's got that batting average close to 270, maybe a touch higher, and that's playing sparing. He's been able to keep his stroke. He's been terrific in the field, and here he sends Garcia scampering to third base, and then a heads-up double by Saladino. So the tying the go-ahead run in scoring position for Adam Eaton.
Well, he's just a good player. It's just that simple. He's got big range, got a big arm, and he's going to hit you, 8 or 10, 11 home runs if he plays the whole year. But he's going to get some big base hits off some good pitching. We've already seen that. Saw it last year in some spurts, hitting those good pitchers well.
They're in at the corners, back in the middle, although not all the way back. They're just about halfway in the middle infield.
Out in front. So the count 0-2. Ducks on the pond, 1 down. Adam with a solid base hit in the first, a solid base hit in the third.
He's only fanned 29 times this year in 196 at bats. This situation cries out for contact. They're going to concede the tying run.
Well, this is when you get in this situation, it's either hard high or slow low. That knuckle curve down in the end is going to be very tough to lay off of and very tough to do anything with.
And just might go to the screen if Butera can't block it.
One thing about Butera, from what we've seen of him since he's been up, son of Sal, he's a pup out of Sal, because Sal was very good with the leather and not too good with the lumber. You're
going to be a backup catcher, and Drew Butera has been that most of his career. You better be able to catch it, call it, throw it, and block it.
Well, he can do that.
If you can catch it, call it, throw it, and block it, you can stay around for a long time as a backup catcher. And occasionally, in a situation like this where you've got your number one hurt, you're going to get a whole lot more play.
I was shocked yesterday when he got that big double for 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
He choked up on his swing 2 inches. He choked up on the bat 2 inches, knowing he was facing a fireballer, and it led to not only contact but big contact.
Well, in essence, it beat us.
Yeah.
And I told you, I just don't understand why guys with 2 strikes, especially in big situations like this, don't choke up. All right, that's going to get the game tied. Attaboy, Adam. So that walk scores. Tied at 2. Don't stop now, boys.
Volquez was unhappy with himself because he wanted to break that one down and in off the plate. He left it in the middle of the plate, and Adam Eaton driving home his 16th, and you can see Volquez still unhappy as he slams down the rosin bag and finds himself in a brand new game tied at 2.
Austin has struck out and then hit into a hard 5-4-3 double play. He hit the ball hard, I should say. And a good play by Cuthbert. And a good turn by Merrifield. Well, there it was if he was going to get a good pitch to hit. 1-1. Big hack. You take Anthony Rizzo. He's got one of the best two-strike approaches. Chokes up inch and a half when he gets 2 strikes. But he's had 2 real good pitches to hit in the sequence, so it's hard to imagine he's going to get 3.
Rizzo's driven in 36 runs. He drove in another one today. As they lead, the Phillies jumped on him early again. They lead him 5-0.
Well, that's for a young player. That's one of the best 2-strike approaches you'll ever see.
That was a very good stop by Butera. He just moved out to his right, didn't try to catch it. He knew that odds of catching it were slim. Odds of blocking it were pretty good if he could get out there. And you see him shift the body. You always drop to one knee and move your body and make sure that you kind of spread out into a big target to block it down.
Out in front. Well, let me ask you this. You're a pretty good player, golf. When you got a real delicate chip shot, downhill on a fast green, say they're running 12.
Okay.
Are you going to have the same grip on that shot as you were if you were going to hit that delicate pitch, delicate wedge, 110 yards?
No, but obviously not. No.
No, you're not. It's common sense.
And if I have that pitch, what I do is I bend down, I tell the other guy to look that way, and I roll it onto the green.
Shoot a marble.
Yeah, if you could. Wow.
Like it's
Is that an eagle over there?
Oh, yeah. Don't hang up. It will. So Saladino scores and the Sox lead it 3-2. And a boy, Austin. Beautiful play. Turned into a double play in the first inning, and now the go-ahead run. So J.J. Shearer's pick to click.
RBI number 17. One more base hit or so, and he's right there with Adam Eaton.
Here's Todd. You and I have talked about it. If there's one thing I could have a redo on in my career, it would be with 2 strikes, I would choke up at least an inch and a half. But my macho at that time wouldn't let me do it.
It's really easy to understand the right things to do after the fact when you don't have the ability to do it anymore. You get a whole lot smarter, and unfortunately, it doesn't come to you in time.
High pop up. But we come up with a pair. We're halfway home leading 3-2.
relative with our Chuck.
First pitch strike to Cheslor Cuthbert. That had just a piece of the inside corner. And while he didn't get it, and the count 1-1. Nice pitch. 1 out.
Sox fans celebrate a special birthday or anniversary or even host a business function in a Diamond Suite at a White Sox game. Diamond Suites can accommodate groups from 10 to 100. Single game packages include a great food menu as well as beverages and parking passes. To purchase, visit whitesox.com/group. Big shutdown inning for Chris Sale. His team got him the lead. The bottom part of the order, you shut him down here and turn it over to the offense again.
Oh, 0-2.
Terra spent some time with Minnesota Twins, as did his father Sal. Sal became a very good scout.
Yes, he is.
And the
really respected in that category.
The two of them earned the distinction of becoming the first ever father and son duo to play for the Twins.
Close pitch.
Just missing with a backdoor breaking ball that would have ended this at bat.
He gone. 2 down. Six strikeouts now for Chris.
Good fastball, and now Chris is doing what he wanted to do and what he did consistently in that 9-game winning streak. Now he is taking a little something off, adding a little something on, hitting the corners when he has to. And after that first inning where he gave up 2 and but for a spectacular play would have given up more, he's been, if not unhittable, pretty close to it. Only 2 singles after that first inning.
Yeah, that catch and then turned into a double play. That catch by Austin Jackson saved at least 1.
Well, Chris was very happy about the catch. The most surprised man at the ballpark about that catch was Hosmer, who was 3 steps past the second base bag. He had to retrace his steps and still got thrown out.
And that breaking ball flips it into the seat. Souvenir right side. And he reached back. Watch this. There's Hosmer trying to get back in. Oh yeah. No, a little too high. Good try though by Brett. Good try by Laurie.
He showed you very good range, and what he likes to do when he gets to the baseball is smother it and use almost a pop-up approach. So he's on one knee, but then gets under it, and Escobar just runs too well. So a big effort. Just misses getting him at first base. Now, if you want to go on first move and time Chris Sale, it's not a bad time to run. But if you get too adventuresome, Chris is going to pick him off.
Here's Merrifield. He's 1 for 2, and he's hit the ball hard, very hard twice. Line drive single to left, and then he scored. And then a line drive out to right. Beautiful catch by Adam Eaton. he has hit it right on the money 3 times today, and that'll retire the side. We're into the 6th, leading by 1.
Great Clips Salons by June 10th for the Great Clips Summer Sweepstakes details. The grand prize winner throws out the first pitch on Mullet Night on Friday, June 24th, plus White Sox tickets and a pregame patio party. So Great Clips, it's going to be great. Purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
3-7-0 for our Sox, 2-6-0 for their Royals here in the top of the 6th inning, and Cabrera with a 1-0 count. Make it 2-0. And that's a bait. Oh no, look at this kid. I'm telling you what, he is all over the place. What a beautiful, beautiful play by Whit Merrifield.
And Volquez gives him a tip of the hat, and Melky still believes you can get into first base more quickly sliding head first. You can't, Melky. You never could. You never will. Doubtful if you beat it out anyway. A spectacular effort by Merrifield. Guys, stand up, run through the bag, lean forward, just like an Olympic sprinter would.
Well, he should be pretty good. He came from a very athletic family. His mother, Kissy, was a 5-time South Carolina State champion in tennis and played collegiately at Wake Forest. And then his dad, as you mentioned the other day, was a 2-time ACC Player of the Year at Wake Forest in baseball and also played in the minor leagues.
Yeah, was a professional player, and he taught his son well.
Well, you might think his mom had a little something to do with it as well.
There's no doubt about it. My mother was a great athlete. I learned just about everything I knew from her. I played golf on her set of clubs. I played tennis with her tennis racket. And I mean, she was the athletic star of the family. There's a look at Big Luke Hochevar, another former #1 draft pick, making the conversion to a Pensman after injuries, and he's been a good one out there.
That ball hit hard. Right over the top. They have thrown some leather today in this ball game, if you're just tuning in.
Well, you've got two teams that are exceptional defensive ball clubs. And the White Sox, fewest error in the leagues at 21. They lead in fielding. Kansas City 4th but 24 errors and great range all the way around.
That's the whole key.
Yep.
The range.
Great range.
Factor.
And there you see team lows in errors. White Sox, Royals, Rangers, Red Sox.
Well, if you throw in the range factor, Kansas City's probably just a tick above us defensively.
They do have more range. They got more range than just about everybody.
Yeah.
And they haven't missed a beat putting Cuthbert and Merrifield in the lineup.
Brett, 1 for 2, solid single up the middle in the second. And Escobar took a base hit away from him with a beautiful play. All right, we'll go to the bottom of the 6th with a 1-run lead.
Up June 6th through the 12th. This week-long initiative features a different outreach event and fundraising event every day to support Chicago White Sox charities. For more information, visit whitesox.com/SoxServe.
Sale concluding his warm-ups. He's got the heart of the order: Kane, Hosmer, and Morales. Kane 1 for 2. Hard line drive double over the head. Jackson in the center field to knock in a run, and then he scored. Also, he struck out leading off the 4th. You don't want to get the ball down out over the plate to this guy. He's a little similar to Castellanos of the Tigers.
Uppercut swing.
Yep.
Castellanos can hit it a long way.
I saw him hit on the highlights. I saw him hit a home run the other day. That ball was belt high, which was high for him to hit it out. It's down off the plate. That's a can of corn if it doesn't get in that sun. So here's Hosmer. He's 2 for 2 off Chris. One hard RBI single in the first, then a soft single in the fourth. As I mentioned, he's now 12 for 35. It's very unusual. And he had a big rip at that pitch. It was in off the plate, but he was bailing a little bit, so that was wheelhouse. Took a little something off that one. 77. Yeah. He gone. 2 down. Well, nobody on base, 1 out. He was trying to tie this game up and at bat.
Well, he decided he was going to go after it, and then when he realized it was out of the zone, couldn't check his swing.
That evens the count. Boy, Deanna Navarro and Chris Sale are really working well together. Recap of today's game, plus highlights from around the league. So don't miss Sportsnet Central tonight at 6:30 p.m. on CSN Chicago.
Luke Hochevar comes into the ball game on for the 23rd time. He's 1-0. His ERA a fine 2.66. He's been overpowering. 25 strikeouts in 20 and the third. And the big man throws it hard. Now he's got very good command. We saw him for 2/3 of an inning in the opener in relief of Danny Duffy. And after Duffy had given up 5, Hochevar came on and got out of the inning and helped propel a late game comeback.
To me, that's one of the prettiest things in baseball. Things things that I love to watch. I love to watch good defense. I love to watch good positioning by the outfielders. And I love to watch a pitcher and a catcher in sync.
When you have that, first of all, there's a lot of guys that never shake off any pitches. Mark Burley, notoriously one of them, didn't matter who catches. He just threw whatever they wanted. It seemed to work out pretty well for him.
There's a shot, base hit, fair. So DeHonor, as Orlando quickly gets to it. That's almost a carbon copy, a blueprint of that RBI single he had in the second.
This one is not the big fastball, it's a cutter. And so being a cutter, he was able to get out in front of it and take it right down the line past Hosmer.
Here's Avi, 0 for 1 with a walk, and he came around to score on that one out walk. It's high in the right field. Orlando getting a little angle on that sun. If you're just joining us, yesterday and today, anything hit to right, center, and center. These guys have really been having a lot of problems with it. So here's Saladino. 1 for 2 with a double. That's coming back in the 5th inning.
2006, Luke Hochevar, the first round, first overall pick in the draft that year. Luke had some mighty disappointing years as a starter, although when he burst on the scene, he was very good. They believed that he was going to be a top of the rotation guy. He went 6-12, 7-13, 8-16 in various seasons before moving to the pen. Did that last year, and he was very good.
Tops that one foul.
Matt Albers loosening in the pen.
One and 2 the count.
Hochevar was obviously paying attention when DeHonor took off and stole his first base in a long time coming in the 2nd inning. So he is holding the baseball and making sure he doesn't get that running start.
Good pitch by Hochevar.
95 and knocked the bat out of his hands as this ball way inside. What you can do there. That hit him.
That got him. So now DeHonor in the 2nd. Saladino at first.
Because of our microphone down on the field, you could hear 2 clicks. You could hear the first grazing Saladino and the second off of Butera. Maybe a little bit more than a graze. That probably didn't feel too good.
Here's Eaton. He's 2 for 3 with an RBI. Got a good pitch to bunt right there. 1-1 to count. And that's a base hit. They're going to have to hold DeHonor, and that'll load them up.
Adam gets one up in the zone. That was another cutter from Hochevar that didn't cut very much. He punches it through the right side. But with Orlando really charging hard, there was no way Joe McEwing could have gambled and sent Navarro.
So here is Austin. He's 1 for 3 with an RBI. But made really the defensive play of the game with that tremendous catch in the first inning. Good take. Big pitch coming up to 1-1 with 1 out. Sox packed with Sox. That's into right field, and he makes the catch. But DeHonor, he will tag and he will score for a beautiful play by Orlando and a good piece of work right there by Joe McEwing and DeHonor Navarro. Got no place to go but go tag, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, anything hit to the outfield, you've got to tag at third base, because if it gets by him, you score easy. If he makes this kind of play, which was a great play, you also score. This ball sliced down the line. Orlando's been favoring the line most of the afternoon. This time quickly getting up, realizing there was no play, so an all-important insurance run.
Well, what happens on a play like that, though, when you see that ball hit down the line, that runner at third has a tendency to break a couple of steps in and then has to go back. But he never did that. He immediately went back to the bag. And with his speed, if he had taken a couple of steps down the line, he couldn't have scored. So now Jackson with 2 RBIs. He now has 18 on the season. Todd 0 for 3. He's due.
Scott Alexander loosening in the pen, and in limited action he's been very good.
Ball 2 out. You got a high roller right there. Couldn't do anything with it.
Hochevar got lucky because that one stayed rolling up high. If it settles just a bit, probably goes out of the park. But up there, there's not much you can do with it.
Good job by Todd right there. That's a B pitch with 2 strikes.
That was a perfect cutter. It was outside off the plate. I'm not sure how Todd was able to stay alive, but he caught it just barely off the end of the bat to keep the at bat.
That'll do it, but we do pick up 1. And 7th inning stretch, we lead it 4-2.
You want to grab White Sox seats, get to the StubHub app. We take the price and location of seats, show you which tickets at StubHub give you the best deal, so you can get the StubHub app today. You won't be sorry. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Chicago White Sox. Chris Sale's pitching line brought to you by American Sale. It's 6 innings, 6 hits, a couple of earned runs, only 1 walk and 7 Ks. Those 2 runs coming in the first inning with a single, a double, and a single. And then a terrific double play to get out of the inning. And since then, just 3 singles, 1 threat coming in the 4th. Chris got out of it, and he doesn't have a comfortable 4-2 lead, but let's call it a multi-run lead. Starting pitching this year has been awfully good. They're 2nd in wins, 2nd in ERA, 2nd in innings pitched, 3rd in quality starts, and opponent's batting average they're 5th. So it has not been the starting pitching that has been the problem of late. The offense is starting to score a bit. That was a problem on the homestand. And the bullpen has got to revert to the form they had the first 5 weeks of the season. And it's the same guys, so you would have to think that they would have a big bounce back.
Well, we had a little stretch in that 3-7 homestand also that we didn't catch the ball, especially in the outfield, as good as we did.
Nope.
There. Paolo Orlando off the end of the bat. a pitch. That's nice, and 1 out.
Chris has hailed a red hot hitter, not only red hot for the year, red hot against our Sox. Came in hitting close to 350 lifetime against the Sox, and Chris struck him out twice swinging, and that little tapper right back to him.
Plus, he has an 11-game hitting streak going for him. $36,624. 31,598 yesterday. Friday had 28,507. To another count to Brett Eibner, who has singled, and he has gone out to center field. Those pitch didn't get it.
As you can see, little trouble in the first, although with all that trouble, a minimum of pitches. Another tough inning in the fourth. That's why you saw the pen up and going, because Chris is at the 103 mark coming up.
As dangerous in this count.
Take a look at it from the side, and yes, he did.
Well, full count. That's looped out into right field. Can't get there. Soft single by Eibner. Got a final from Cleveland. Orioles beat the Indians 6-4.
So a chance here to gain a little ground.
And move back into first place. So here's Cuthbert. Had him way out in front. An 84-mile-an-hour changeup. One and one. Chesler, strikeout, fly out to right. Bottom of the seventh, 4-9-0 for us, 2-7-0 for them if you're just tuning in. 2-2.
It's number 109 and one of the bigger outs, because then you can end it with Butera if Cuthbert does not ground into a double play.
Full count. Just got a piece of it.
Went upstairs changing eye levels, and Cuthbert just barely able to stay alive. That one fouled off Ted Barrett.
Once again, the payoff. A little quick. Gap out there in left center. Just another quarter of a step. Way out in front.
That ball fouled into the upper deck.
Over our dugout.
Solid breaking ball inside on the 9th pitch of the at bat. So Cuthbert making it difficult for Chris Sale, who's about to deliver pitch number 114. You wouldn't think he'd go much past 120 despite short outing last time out.
So with 1 out, Ty runs the board.
Here comes Robin.
Second walk issued by Chris.
We have all the right-handers coming up down to Hosmer, who's in the 4 position. So Butera, Escobar, Merrifield, and Kane all swinging it right-handed. And Robin's going to ask him how he feels.
Well, I don't think he's going to let him take a chance on losing this ball game. But again, Chris is very forceful.
Well, he'll tell him, and I think he's earned that right. I know they've asked him a few times, especially when he got through 8, you have enough to finish it up, and the answer was always yes. I do believe if he didn't think he had enough, he would tell Robin, go to the pen.
The thing about having the right, if your number 1 does not have the right, then nobody does.
You're exactly right. And managers earn a lot of points with the entire starting rotation if he doesn't have a preconceived notion when he walks to the mound.
Butera 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts. Line drive caught. Good base running by Kansas City. 2 down.
That ball hit awfully hard, and Butera once again was choked up on the bat against a very tough pitcher trying to make some contact. So he reaches down, gets this fastball out over the plate. Fortunately, Todd Frazier right there, and now Leonard Navarro goes to the mound to talk with Chris and how they want to attack Escobar. If Chris is going to throw him inside, if he's thinking about that slider in or some fastballs in, probably a good time for Saladino to make a couple of steps to his right, because we've seen Escobar go through that left side quite a bit. If you're going to stay away, it's completely the opposite.
He's 1 for 3 at an infield single. Takes first pitch strike. A little unusual, except that one was just catching a piece of the inside corner.
Navarro wanted it inside. He put the glove right there, and Chris filled it up.
That ball hit in the right center field. We got a man there, and he makes another nice running catch. That was a piece of cake for him, though. Meanwhile, we're into the 8th, still leading 4-2.
schedule brought to you by Travel Wisconsin. Plan your fun today at travelwisconsin.com. And the finale of this series is today. Then it's on to New York for day game, night game, day game before an off day on Thursday. And then it's the Tigers wrapping up this fairly long 3-city road trip. For the upcoming schedule brought to you by Travel Wisconsin, and Chris Young is in the ball game. The 6'10" right-hander, 1-5 this year, all starts, ERA way up there. Then he came out and said that he's having some arm problems, and that took him out of the rotation, put him on the shelf for a bit, and now he's back with a 2-run deficit, as Chris Sale probably has thrown his last pitch, getting out of 7, giving up just 2 runs.
Nate Jones heating up down in the pen as there's first pitch strike to Melky. Melky over 3 times he's gone out to Merrifield. Last time he was robbed by Witt. A magnificent diving stop on a hard hit ball.
Young just coming off a DL yesterday. He went on with right forearm soreness. That one just missed, but missed it did. Young has always depended from 6 feet 10 inches tall on a high fastball.
Melky evidently has seen him pretty well. He's 4 for 8 against him lifetime.
He comes straight over the top, and there really isn't a whole lot of a deception for a left-hand hitter.
Two and two. Very seldom you see those 6'8", 6'9", 6'10" pitchers as he gets him for out number 1. Very seldom. Every now and then you see one that could run it up there 98, 99, 100. Most of them are soft tossers.
No, and he threw harder early in his career. He's been around a long time. Came to the big leagues with Texas in 2004. Had a big year. 2005, 12-7 as a starter. Followed it up 11-5 with San Diego.
Fastball at 88.
Last year as a starter, most of the time was 11-6 with Kansas City.
Boy, that's another one of the things that's been interesting to see, how pitchers have just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Softly hit right side. 2 down. Rayu now 1 for 4. Faced a couple of guys who are pretty tall in the minor leagues, but in the big leagues I think the biggest pitcher I ever faced was Dave DeBusschere.
You ever faced Gene Conley?
Didn't face him.
He was 6'8". DeBusschere was 6'6".
Buscher had good stuff. I mean, he had real good. He threw hard.
Pretty fair country basketball player too. Speaking of that, I'm not sure if you saw the game last night in Golden State and the Thunder. Klay Thompson, Trace Thompson's brother, set the all-time record for 3-pointers. He was absolutely unconscious last night, and now they travel back to Oakland for the finale, the 7th game tomorrow night.
One and 2 to Brett. Laurie 1 for 3.
Trace Thompson came out of Dodger game last night. Hopefully he's okay, because we know his brother's okay.
That ball hit well into right center field, but as usual, Kane is there, and we'll go to the bottom of the 8th, still leading by 2.
Chuck Garfien as he turns it back and turns it to Nate Jones. Nate comes into this one for the 22nd time. He's 2-0. His ERA 2.33.
I tell you about our Chuck. If you play him on the golf course, you better be careful.
He's tough, I know.
He can play.
But with his staggered schedule, he gets enough time, certainly.
Yeah, right. So here's Merrifield. Merrifield, 1 for 3. And he's hit it right on the money all 3 times today. I mean, 3 bullets. That's high. That's at 96. Caught.
You can see your name in lights at an upcoming White Sox game. Also celebrate a birthday, anniversary, and more with a scoreboard message. Proceeds benefit White Sox charities. So to book your message, visit whitesox.com/scoreboard.
That wind has picked up, and Merrifield could not believe they brought it back in the ballpark. Wind now blowing briskly out to left field. Earlier it was just a gentle breeze.
2-run game. You want to get by Kane and Hosmer and then worry about the rest in the 9th inning.
That one at 97 for a strike. He has made himself a heck of a player. He hadn't had much problems with Nate, though. Faced him 5 times, 4 hits. Two and 1. Come on, Nate, no walks now.
Good Jones slider here would be perfect if he kept it low, just off the plate. We'll see what Navarro wants and where he wants it.
Well, he got away with one right there.
He wanted a slider. He just didn't call it down the middle.
He got, oh, of course, as we talked about, though, Kane is a low ball hitter. Down out of the place of his wheelhouse. Everybody likes those spirals.
Kane has fanned 46 times, including in the 4th inning leading off today. That's second on the team in strikeouts.
Full count with Hosmer on deck. Hit into right field deep. He's now 5 for 6 off Nate, and it's a 4-3 ball game.
That time he got a high fastball for his 7th home run, his 2nd driven in today, his 28th of the year. That narrows the gap to 1 run. A Ford home run replay. A high fastball leaves the yard, and with the heat and a day game, this ballpark's a little livelier, but still 387 to the power alley is a long way to go opposite field.
Well, when you're 5 for 6 off a guy, you're seeing the ball pretty good, regardless up, down, in and out. So that home run just brings these 36,000 plus into a mode of yesterday and the day before. Big hack by Hosmer. He's 2 for 3 with an RBI. Hosmer has driven in 7 runs in this series.
Kendrys Morales in the on-deck circle. He'll turn around to hit from normally what's been his strong side, but this year he's had a tough time left-handed.
That one at 97. Evens the count at 2.
Boy, it's hard to get it outside far enough where Hosmer makes no contact. That ball was at least 6-7 inches outside off the plate. He was able to reach out with his long arms and get at least a piece to keep the bat alive.
We had a starter. I can't remember who it was when Hosmer was a rookie in this ballpark. Came in, pitched against Kansas City, and he threw him some pitches. And after the game, I was talking to him. He said, "I've never pitched to a guy, a left-handed hitter, who could hit some of the pitches that he hit, foul them off." Down the line, it's gonna be at least a double.
He's swinging a magic wand. That was a slider meant to be a backdoor slider on the outside part of the plate. And that's going to bring Don Cooper from the dugout as you watch Hosmer just reach out, almost serve it down the line. And when you're swinging it well, and he is swinging it well, there doesn't seem to be enough men on the field for when he's hitting.
Well, he's 8 for 13 in this series with 7 RBIs. As we said before, he hit in the first inning, or in the first inning of the first game. He's the one guy on this club you don't want to let beat you. And boy, he has done that. Now Austin Jackson's come in from center field. Maybe, hopefully, just for some sunglasses.
He's got sunglasses, so.
You got them?
Yeah, he's wearing them. He just doesn't feel good, apparently.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he's going down now with Hermy.
You want to put Sands yet?
So now Adam Eaton is going to shift to center field. The question is who he puts in right, and the first thought was Jerry Sands, but let's see what Robin and the guys come up with. So it's going to be Sands. He's going to go to left field. Nope, he's not. He just didn't want to run across the infield dirt, so he's going to go toward now right field. So Sands takes the spot occupied by Jackson. That's the 2 spot in the batting order. Adam Eaton, as you see, shifts to center. And now from the left side, Kendrys Morales will come on to hit, hitting 138 left-handed. However, 3 of his 5 home runs have come as a left-hand hitter.
Tying run is second, 1 out. Kendrys has had no problems with Nate. 5 at bats, 3 hits. One to count.
And our crew has picked up where Austin might have hurt himself making a catch in right center. So we'll watch the play. Going over and then coming up Gimpy.
Yep. 3-1. Paulo Orlando on deck.
That play was on the Escobar fly ball that ended the 7th inning, and the last pitch that Chris Sale threw.
High pop up. Everybody getting chased and unplayable. So a full count.
There is Zach Duke throwing in a pen.
And the payoff. Another high. And another souvenir. Now the tying run at second. Go ahead, run on at first with 1 out. Here comes Paulo Orlando. Four 9-0 for us, 3 9-0 for them. Shot, 1 hot. Now they're going to have to hold Hosmer, and that'll load him up.
Orlando doing what he's done very well in this series, going the opposite way. Fortunately, that ball hit so hard that Jerry Sands could get to it, and it loads him up. 12-game hitting streak now for Orlando.
So Dyson is going to run for Kendrys Morales.
He carries with him the go-ahead run.
And here is Brett Eibner, who's 2 for 3 today. He's 5 for 11 in his young major league career. And all in this series. Took that pitch nicely. 2-0. No place to put him. There's one. Come on, Nate, bristle up, buddy.
Throw one in the zone. Maybe he'll hit it at somebody. You can turn 2 and out of the inning.
Tie game.
Second run batted in for Eibner, although this of the quiet variety to go with his 2 hits, and that is going to be it.
So
for
Chris
Nate
Sale
Jones
will not get a win. Second walk of the inning. All right, Nate's gone. Albers comes on, and we'll be back.
Albers, and he comes in with no place to put anybody on for the 23rd time, a 1-4 record. ERA just under 4.5, and he's got a man who's grounded into a couple double plays this year. Looking for yet one more with the score tied, and big speed at third base.
So here's Cuthbert, 0 for 2 with a walk. And he takes ball 1.
Navarro out to talk with Albers.
Just elevated Cuthbert into a really dangerous at bat.
Tried to ride that fastball in on his hands. He got him to foul it off. Cabrera way off the line in left center field. Eaton shaded a touch to the right of center.
Got him at home. But 1 run crosses the plate. And it's a 5-4 Kansas City lead. This is almost unbelievable.
Well, a good enough play to get to it, but that throw from almost laying down pretty much looks like a grenade as it went up in the air. So Orlando tagged out at the plate, but not before the go-ahead run scores in the person of Dyson. So it'll go to base hit, a run batted in, and the lead is surrendered. And for the third straight game, Kansas City has come back. Take the lead late. They made it hold up twice.
So here's Butero. 0 for 3 last time up. He hit a bullet. Hit him just as hard as he could hit it right to Todd Frazier at third. Well, when you walk in a close ball game, you walk a couple guys in the inning. Something bad's going to happen.
And this Kansas City team is as confident a bunch as you'd ever want to see.
And even without 2 of their big guns.
3 of them now.
Yeah, well, he's going to be out for a week. The other 2 for a month, and 1 for the season.
Indefinitely.
It all boils down to bullpens. That's the name of the game today. Don't care how good your starters are, don't care how good your offense is. If your bullpens don't get it done, you're going to lose. High pop up, and that's going to be back. He's trying to come back and won't get there. 2 rows in. So 3 in. 2 out, 2 on. 2-2 the count. Hard to believe that Maple can have a bullpen that was #1 in the big leagues. You get into May, from May 15th on. It's just been unbelievable.
It just disappears as quickly as it arrived.
Full count.
Escobar in the on deck circle if Butero can keep it alive.
Third walk of the inning.
First game of the series. Kansas City scored 4 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th. Last night's game, Kansas City scored 7 runs late.
Late.
Put it away as late as you can get.
Bottom of the ninth.
7 runs, and it's 3 so far here in the 8th.
And here's Escobar. Popped up. Now Adam Eaton coming on. Makes the catch. Based on balls, absolutely just killed us. As they come up with 3 and they lead at 5-4.
Earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and yet another late comeback. And here is the capper. Infield hit to the right side. Lowry can't come up with it. Can't get the throw over. Go-ahead run scores, but they cut down Orlando at the plate. In the meantime, that is the go-ahead run. So Wade Davis comes on for the 19th time. 13 of 14 in save situations. He is 1-0 and doesn't walk a whole lot of people and doesn't give up home runs.
Seventh, eighth, and ninth hitters: Navarro, Garcia, and Saladino. Downer 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. And he's 1 for 4 lifetime off Mr. Davis.
Davis this year has yet to give up a home run. He's only given up 3, covering 640 hitters.
That ball hit hard in the left field, but right at Eibner, so 1 out.
Last 2 years, Wade Davis has averaged 12.1 strikeouts per 9 innings. It's been absolutely an unbelievable run. This year the strikeouts down somewhat, but not the effectiveness.
Here's Avi. Avi is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. And he has faced Wade 6 times, has a couple of hits. After this game, we'll board our charter, head on up to the Big Apple. Tomorrow day game, Memorial Day. 12:10 Central start. Have it for you right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Quintana against Matt Harvey. Good rip by Avi.
That time he got a hittable pitch that was down. Had most of the plate. Fouled it back, but it was 96, so a little something on it.
That Tuesday game from Citi Field will be at 6:10 Central Time on Comcast Sportsnet. Then the finale Wednesday afternoon, WGN. That's low. 2-1. Don't help him out. We need a run.
Albie not very happy with the call of Ted Barrett. This one did not have the plate. It was close, but it was just off the corner.
Softly hit. Escobar on the move. 2 out.
Nice job by Escobar, coming on aggressively, smothering the short hop, knowing Garcia's got speed, and he made the play.
Garcia nursing a sore hamstring himself. Bill busted it down the line. Anyway, here's Tyler. He's 1 for 2, a double. He also was hit by a pitch. Outfield around to the right.
Big whip. Just underneath it. Tyler, get one up in the air towards left at wind. Just a soft breeze now blowing out. It'll carry. That one at 95. I don't think I can. I'm trying to think. I don't think I can ever remember a 3-game series that a team has come back in such dramatic fashion as the Royals have in this one. In dramatic fashion, I'm talking about that late in the ball game.
Sox have been outscored 15-1 from the 7th inning on in this series.
Can't remember ever seeing one. Certainly didn't play in one.
This ball game in this series is over. We get swept. And that game yesterday had a direct impact on this game today.
Well, unfortunately, late runs belong to Kansas City, and 3 times with the lead late, 3 times coming up short. So on to New York against a very good Met team.
All right, so far, Steve Stone for our director, Jim Angier, our producer, Mike Leary, our associate producer, Dave Ross, our technical manager, Mark Harper. Also, the executive producer, Jim Cornell Jr., and for Sherry, for Janice, for Rich. This is the Hawk. So long, everybody. Coming up next, Subaru Postgame Live with Chuck and Bill. You've been watching White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet.